Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining me here today so that we could discuss the Keirn Chronicles, Volume 1, The Fabulous Wrestling Life of Steve Keirn. So obviously this is a book review. It's not a movie review this time. But if you're not familiar with Steve Keirn, he was a professional wrestler. He wrestled all over in the territories. And once he started to kind of rise through the ranks, he became a top guy everywhere he went. He formed the Fabulous Ones with Stan Lane. He wrestled in the AWA. He wrestled in Florida. He wrestled in Memphis. When he was in Florida, he had an amazing feud with Bob Roop that brought in so much real life drama about the fact that his dad was a Vietnam prisoner of war. This was amazing, an amazing feud, and this book covers his pre-wrestling, his life before he got into wrestling, and then it covers right up until the closure of the Florida territory, which Steve Keirn was there when it closed. So that's after he had split from Stan Lane and the Fabulous Ones, and that's what this book encompasses. So there is a ton of territory information in this. And like with all professional wrestling autobiographies, you kind of have to take some of it with a grain of salt and think about like, okay, is this just kind of trying to work the reader, or is this just an exaggeration, or just a memory of whatever? But I don't think there's a lot of that in here. I think a lot of this seems pretty genuine, or at least close to what really happened. I appreciate the fact that he goes really deep in this. It's not just like, oh, this town drew, or this town was boring, or whatever. Like, this territory was blank. He goes really in depth, and that minutia to some people might be a little too much, but for me, and I would think anybody who's a real wrestling fan of especially the territory days, will really appreciate hearing all of these stories. It's kind of like riding in the car with Steve Keirn and hearing, his memories of all these different territories. I had a great time with this book. I love the fact that it's such a deep dive. I love that he goes so in depth on all these different topics. And like I said, you got to take it with a grain of salt, but it's an entertaining book. It's well written. It's just insanely informative. You get to hear about his encounters with so many different wrestlers. And if you love stories about ribs, or like the jokes that the wrestlers pull on each other, Steve Keirn loves ribs and has a ton of those stories here. There aren't very many rat stories, however, and he actually claims that the stories of him being the person who ran the rat report, that was all fake, but I don't know. Anyway, I thought this book was really entertaining. I love the territory days of wrestling. I was too young to experience them in person for the most part, but I really had a good time revisiting Steve Keirn's memories through this book, and I'm definitely looking forward to the next one. So that's my review of the Keirn Chronicles Volume 1. I thought it was a really good book, well written, super informative. So if you want to check out more reviews from me, go to my website, markfusion.com, or you can go right here on YouTube to my movie review playlist, which also has some book reviews in there as well. But thank you for watching this review. I do greatly appreciate it, and hopefully I'll see you soon.